Welcome back to part two of our discussion or recording on fear. Now, I'd like you to think about your life now, your career, your lifestyle, your relationships. Are they what you want, or do you feel like you're settling because you fear making a change or taking action towards your true desires? Are you maybe afraid people will judge you or dislike you? Remember, this isn't a test drive. Life isn't a test drive. You don't get another chance. We don't get to test our lives out and then go back and buy the real life. This is it. We get one chance. And God's intention for us is that we use this one chance in a manner that keeps us happy and progressing forward. So, how do you get out of a fearful state? Well, you have to analyze the fear and confront it. Really trying to understand what it is that you fear, what it is that you think will happen, and really try to understand, is it a valid fear? Because sometimes what we build up in our heads is really worse than what really could happen, or really worse than what actually happens. So baby steps towards, let's say you have a goal or a desire, you take baby step towards it. By moving towards your goal and your desire, it will help build confidence. As you do that, you celebrate each step. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something big that you are moving towards. It could be a small goal, and celebrate each step of the way. But as I said, taking action is really, really important, because this is what will diminish and eventually squelch the fear. Because as you move out of the fear, you start realizing that what you really want is attainable, and you're taking little steps towards it. The other thing is, look at other people that have accomplished the things that you want to accomplish, and try to understand or find out how they did it. Fear is in all of us, but the people that have made it through are the people that we can use as role models. So we look at what they've accomplished, how they did it, and we try to repeat that in our own lives. So research what you want and become informed about it. The next thing is, you have to change how you think and how you act. Think positive thoughts, and when the doubts start creeping in, take a little bit more action towards the goal. It's difficult a lot of times to just automatically change your thoughts. What will change your thought, though, is if you start taking action towards the goal, because then your focus becomes the goal instead of your thought. Sometimes you might have a false sense that the people around you are disapproving of you, and you find you'll walk into a room and you immediately start thinking that, oh, everyone's looking at me and they're thinking badly of me. The reality is, those are your own thoughts of yourself and your own insecurities that you're projecting out onto the people that are in the room. So that's an example. Another example of what fear does to us is it keeps us in an abusive situation. We allow ourselves to continue to be abused or treated less than you deserve, and so you again become stuck. The way to become unstuck from that situation is understanding that by allowing yourself to continue in that cycle, you are not living up to your potential, and you're putting your life on hold for someone else's benefit. Now, one of the things, I want to read you a little story that I think is important. It's about It was written by Portia Nelson. She wrote this little story, and I'll read it to you. Chapter 1. It says, Chapter 1 of my life. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It isn't my fault, and it takes forever for me to find my way out. Chapter 2 of my life. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend that I don't see it, but I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. It isn't my fault, and it still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3 of my life. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there, and I still fall in, because now it's a habit. My eyes are open, and I see the hole, but I fall in. I know where I am, but it's not my fault. So I get out immediately. Chapter 4 of my life. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk, and I walk around it. Chapter 5 of my life. I walk down a different street. Now, the key there is that by going down a different street, it means you choose to leave the past behind. The past fears, the past bad decisions, you decide that you don't want that anymore. The old and the ordinary and the familiar is no longer acceptable. That is working through your fear. You instead realize that ordinary just isn't good enough. You no longer want to be average or just try to get by or try to fit in. You choose not to settle. You want to be extraordinary. You want to achieve your goals and even exceed the goals and dreams. The way to do that